Greetings YouTube, this is your resident Land Cruiser nut, and today we're going to be doing one of my coolest videos ever. And what I mean by coolest, you guessed it, doing a super flush of the cooling system and putting in new coolant. So first, why do I think other people have been doing this incorrectly? Well, I've been watching a lot of videos and it seems like people skip the drain plug that's on the engine block, and by just draining the radiator you're not getting out a lot of the residual buildup that's located inside the block. So today we will be not only flushing the radiator but also the engine block. The other reason I also want to get into is why I think people are doing this incorrectly is they're not following the instructions on the flush and clean. And what I mean by that is, for my truck, it's a 20 quart system, so that means you need to use 2 of these. And since I'm doing a heavy flush, what Preston recommends is that you first drain your cooling system and use 2 bottles of these and fill the rest up with distilled water. Many people are just dumping this in with the coolant and running it like that. Now, let me show you some of the tools that I think you're gonna need to make this job easier. I have a couple picks here for those pesky heater hoses. I have a 14mm because that goes to the brass plug that's on the side of the engine block. If you go through the wheel well, you're going to need some extensions, but if yours is like mine, I was not able to get it off with the extensions because I couldn't get the torque that I needed, so I had to crawl under the truck and use a breaker bar to break it loose. And I'll show you all that process here when I get underneath the truck. There are many videos on YouTube of flushing the coolant system in an 80 series. I didn't want to bore you with flushing the system over and over again, so I went ahead and drained my original coolant, and I've actually flushed the system one time, and I'll go over and tell you and show you what I did. So far what I've done is I drained the original coolant. I've dumped 2 bottles of the flush and clean inside with distilled water, and I drove it around for about 65 miles. Then I put another bottle of flush and clean in distilled water and ran it for 40 miles. That's what we're going to drain out now. And before someone comments you're not flushing the heater core in this video, keep in mind it's spring here, and all of these miles I have driven have been with the heater on full blast. So the heater core is getting some type of flush, and I'm just following in this video what the FSM recommends. And just to refresh everyone's memory, how you drain this is there's a valve, it's right down there. You can actually access it from this position by just turning it and draining it. The other drain is on the side of the engine block, and I'll get down here where I've already disconnected it. But I'll get up underneath the truck and show you how I did it as well. So there is the drain hole on the side of the block. You can see it dripping. So I'll get up underneath the truck and show you how I did this. So we are now under the truck in the second drain location. What you're going to be looking for is this brass bolt. Let me see if I can get up in here. That is right there. Now that is a 14mm bolt. When you go to pull that out, make sure you're not directly underneath it because you are going to get wet. I tried to get it through the fender well right between the tire, but it was just so tight that I had to get up underneath the truck to get more leverage. So I cracked this loose, and I'm actually going to be able to undo this with my finger. But first I want to get something underneath the truck and get out of the way so we don't get soaking wet. But this is probably why I think people don't drain this, is because it's kind of a pain to get to and they don't want to get wet. I'm going to have to do this the hard way. All right, there we go. It didn't make as big as a mess as it did the first time. A quick tip when undoing that bolt, I suggest you leave the radiator cap on until you get out from underneath the truck, because you'll see what happens when I go to remove this, how much it starts flowing in. You definitely don't want that on you. So yeah, just a quick tip, wait until you get the bolt out and then come up to the top and undo the radiator caps so you don't get a face full of that. Okay, now we're going to start getting some of these hoses off. We're gonna get this housing pulled apart. These are 12mm bolts. You're gonna need to take off these hoses, this hose. There's a connection down here, and if I run into anything else, I'll let you know. So let's get this off. Okay, I got most everything off. Just a quick tips. You got a little connection down here. Just be gentle with these. They're old, they're plastic. And you got this one right here that's got a little push pin on the side. Mine was facing that way, so I couldn't exactly see how it came off, and then I started to feel around it and I felt the push pin. So be careful with those. One other thing is check the condition of these before you ever take these off. Like mine are still soft and pliable. They're in pretty good shape, so I'm gonna keep using them. But if you feel these and they feel really hard, go ahead and order you a couple new ones from Toyota. I believe they're about $8 a piece. Not that expensive. And then once you get all this off, go ahead and clean all this up, kind of make this look good again, and that'll be one step closer to, you know, getting the truck back to the way we want it and getting everything nice and clean again. So let me get the rest of these bolts out and we'll get this thermostat off. Okay everyone, so I got this hose off. As you can see, this is very dirty inside, and then someone did not use the correct gasket. Looks like they tried to use some type of RTV or something. But when you go to take this off, be careful with this hose down here. Mine was pretty old, and as you can see, it was quite difficult to get off. I was trying not to tear it up. Thank God I didn't. But this is the thermostat. Just remember the direction that it goes up. Remember all your connections. You got one here. You got this, or excuse me, you got, let me put it down here. You got one here. You got an electrical connection, another hose here, electrical connection here and here. So just kind of keep it in mind where all these things are. I'm gonna go get all this cleaned up and get back with you. Okay, so I'm sure you can hear it, but what I am doing is now is taking distilled water and dumping it straight down. And I'm gonna keep dumping a couple of liters until it starts to flow clear down there. Then I'm gonna reassemble everything without the thermostat, let the engine run for about 20 minutes, get everything hot again, and come drain everything again, replace the gasket. But like I just said, I want to dump as much water down here and try to get out as much of the debris that I can before I do that. So yeah, here we go. I don't know if you can see, but down here now the water is coming out a lot cleaner. It still has some color to it, but once we get everything heated up and let the system run, we'll see what happens then. The vehicle's been running for about 10 minutes now with nothing but distilled water. Let's go ahead and turn it off, let it cool off. We'll drain that water out, see what it looks like, and then see if we need to continue to flush or not. Okay everyone, so I got the truck flushed again. This is the sample. I don't think I'm going to get it any clearer than this. Considering the age of the truck, I'm actually quite happy with this. So I'm going to go reassemble everything, put the coolant back inside of it, and then I'll catch you on the back end. Okay, we're back. Everything's been put together. As you can see, we got the new gasket in. It only goes one direction. You'll be able to tell. Just make sure you got all your hose clamps back on. Make sure all your connections are right. We're gonna start the truck, make sure everything is tight and there's no leaks. As you can see, we got our fresh green coolant inside of there. Don't think that you have to go buy the Toyota pink or red. That stuff is really expensive, and I don't believe there's a need for it in our 30-year-old trucks. Even the green coolant that you buy from Preston or any other green coolant you might buy from another brand or manufacturer, the technology has improved so much since these trucks were made that you don't even have to worry about it, and don't go paying for overpriced coolant that they tell you, oh, it's good for 300,000 miles. you've kind of seen what the color of my coolant was, and that was only 100,000 miles. So keep that in mind when you're putting that stuff in. Let's get the cap on, get it started, and make sure there's no leaks. So the truck is now running. I haven't seen any leaks. It's been on for a couple minutes. Looks like we have everything back together. Nothing squirting out from the top or back behind the thermostat. See under the truck, we have nothing leaking under the truck, so I think we are good. This is it for this video. I appreciate everyone that has been following me, and as usual, please like, share, and subscribe.